Starting to invest isn't easy because you have to overcome some fears and you have to learn about the investments and how they behave over time. And you have to design a portfolio that matches how those investments behave, and you have to follow that portfolio, that plan, through thick and thin, even if you start experiencing something like we've been experiencing this year, with values of many investments declining over and over again. And still, even if you learn to do all of these things, investing won't make you rich. And I don't say this just because inflation is higher than ever, higher than it's been in 4 decades, or because we have been seeing the value of many investments decline. Those are not the reasons why I am saying that investing won't make you rich. Now, in this video, I am going to tell you what the reason is, but I'm also going to tell you how, in spite of that reason, investing is still one of the most intelligent decisions that you can make regarding your personal finances. Hi, my name is Eduardo, I have a finance degree and I was able to retire at 29 years old while based in Mexico, and in this channel I talk about everything that we should have learned about personal finance in school. And one of the main things that we should have learned about personal finance in school is how to invest. But even if we had learned how to do that, or you start to learn about it in this brand new channel, still, investing won't be enough and it won't make you rich. It won't make you millions. And let me explain why. The number one reason why investing won't make you millions is because a lot of people think of investing as buying a lottery ticket. They want to see their investment growing 10 times, 20 times, 100 times in a year. That is just not how investment works. A lot of people act as if they were just gambling in a casino. In fact, many investment apps take advantage of this and actually make the app seem like an actual casino with colors and sounds and prices and stuff. That is not what you should do with your wealth. That is not how you become rich. That is absolutely not what you should do with your money. You should not be gambling your future or your financial freedom. Not only is it tremendously risky, but over and over again, data and study after study show that investing in this way, investing actively, always trying to time the market, actually performs worse, much worse than just buying the entire market itself with a diversified portfolio. Now, even if you do have a diversified portfolio, investing still won't make you rich. Why? Why won't it? And if that isn't the case, why are so many people actually, including myself, by the way, trying to convince others to actually invest? Well, to answer this question, let's just take a look at one of the examples that Nick Maggiulli in his book Just Keep Buying mentions about himself. He tells a story about how when he was starting to work, he had $1,000 invested. And he was so focused on having that portfolio be as beautifully designed, as perfect as possible, that he was actually obsessed with the percentages of his portfolio. And while he was obsessed, his portfolio in a good year might have created a 10%, 15% gain, which was equal to $100, $150, which was exactly the same amount that he would just spend on a weekend in San Francisco. So you may start to notice what my point is in this video. The most perfect and balanced investment portfolio, the investment portfolio that is most tailored to what you need as an investor, is not going to be enough to grant you financial freedom. Now, don't get me wrong, investing is a way to secure your financial freedom, but it is not a way to speed it up. So how do we speed up our financial freedom? Well, the answer is very simple, although the implementation not so much. The answer is just to increase the percentage of your income that you are saving month after month. Especially at the beginning of your financial freedom journey, defining the perfect investment portfolio has very, very little value, very little importance. It is going to be much more important to increase that percentage of your income that you are saving month after month. In fact, you can think of this as a pair of scales. On one side, you have the importance of that percentage of income that you are saving. On the other side, you have the importance of the perfect portfolio. At the start of your financial journey, simply the importance of that perfect portfolio is so small. So small that you can actually just ignore it. And I'm not saying this to pull you away from investing, quite the opposite. I am saying this so you fucking stop procrastinating and just start investing now. Sometimes we're just so caught up on creating the perfect portfolio and finding the perfect array of investments that we can make within that portfolio that we are just frozen and we don't know what to do and where to put our money on. So we are not investing, we're not starting to invest. So stop procrastinating because that is not important right now. What is important is to start increasing the amount of money that you are saving, investing month after month, not where you are doing that. You can learn how to do that little by little as the importance of that perfect portfolio starts to be greater. So let me give you my example. Like I was saying in the introduction, I was able to retire at 29 years old here in Mexico. And that actually means that I have achieved a certain level of financial freedom thanks to some money that I have invested. But the amount of money that is providing me with that financial freedom came 100% from my income. 0% of the money that is providing me financial freedom right now came from my investments. 0%. Now that money is invested and it will keep on growing, but it didn't come from investing. So again, just stop procrastinating and just start investing. It doesn't matter if you don't have the perfect portfolio yet. So let's now talk about how to increase the percentage of our income that we are investing or just saving month after month. Is it by reducing our expenses? Well, no, not necessarily. Actually, focusing on reducing our expenses has three main problems. Number one, it creates a lot of stress around the amount of money that we're saving because we feel like it's too little, and a lot of stress around the spending that we are doing because we feel guilty about where we are throwing our money on. Second reason why focusing on reducing our expenses is terrible is because it's just not efficient. We can only reduce our expenses so much. There comes a point where we just cannot cut our expenses anymore. So focusing on that is very inefficient. And third reason why focusing on reducing your expenses is almost worthless is because, especially if you're at the beginning of your financial journey, you're honestly just making very little amount of money compared to the amount of money that you're going to be making in the future. So it is going to be more important for us to focus on growing our income, so the income in our future is much greater than it is right now, so that by focusing on that and by not allowing our expenses to grow as fast as our income, we can actually see that percentage grow without us feeling guilt, without us feeling stressed, without, in other words, just focusing on cutting our expenses. Because you could have the most organized personal finances out there, be able to keep your budget month after month, and that still could not be enough for you to become a millionaire if your income is small. So focusing on growing your income is very important. Thanks for telling me, dude. I obviously knew that already. What do I do now? Well, the way I see it, there are two ways in which you can start to focus in increasing your income. Number one is simply in your traditional job, try to be more valuable over time, start to take some courses, start to learn new abilities, start to become more valuable in what you currently do. That means that you start to specialize yourself on something, so potential employers start to see you as a more valuable asset. But in my opinion, it is better to focus in the second way of increasing your expenses, which is in doing what you actually like and actually providing value to as many people as possible, not just one employer, not just one organization. So you could do this in many different ways. I am not going to bore you with the details. What I can say is that you can start pursuing some side hustles. You can start trying to find how to monetize your passions, how to monetize your hobbies. And it doesn't matter if at the beginning you're monetizing very, very slowly. What actually matters is that you are trying a lot of things all the time. And let me tell you, are you going to fail a lot? That doesn't sound good, but that is actually the way how you can find where is it that you can succeed, but by failing over and over and over again. Now, this video is not about side hustles and so on. What I do want to tell you in this video is that you don't have to worry if you fail over and over again. That is what investing is for. I was telling you just a couple of minutes ago how investing can become that assurance that you will eventually become financially free. Investing won't speed up the process of arriving to financial freedom, but it can secure it. Maybe yes, many years in the future, but you will get there. Now, if you want to get there faster, you have to keep on failing on all of those ideas that you might have on how to create more streams of income. So if you want to learn a little bit about that, if you want to get some ideas, you might want to subscribe to this channel, because I am going to be talking about some of those that I myself have built. Some of them have become little side hustles that create $1,000 or more every single month. So I might be talking about that soon. If you don't want to miss that video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Now, finally, one additional thing that I want to touch on this video, coming back to that set of scales, pair of scales that I was telling you about before, there will come a time when the scales invert, and creating that perfect portfolio is actually going to be more valuable, more important than increasing the amount of money that you can save month by month. And by the time the scales invert, then investing will make you rich. So how do we know when the scales have inverted? Well, it is actually quite simple. Think about how much money your investments could make this year. On average, on a diversified portfolio, we might expect our investments to generate an 8% return yearly. On average, that doesn't mean that every year is the same, that's on average. So let's say that you have $10,000 invested. An 8% return is equal to $800. Can you save more than $800 a year? If the answer is yes, then the balance is still inclined towards saving more money every month. It is still much more important to save more money every month than to come up with a perfect portfolio. But what happens if you now have $100,000 invested? An 8% return is $8,000. If the amount of money that you can save is less than $8,000 every year, then the scales are inverted. Now, it is more important for you to focus on the perfect portfolio and make it something so robust that you can maintain for the very long term than actually focusing on increasing the amount of money that you can save. Now, don't get me wrong in here, the main objective is not to invert the scale as soon as possible. In fact, quite the opposite. You want that point in time to be as far as possible. Because say that now you can save double the amount of money than you were able to do before. And now the scale won't invert until you have double the amount of money invested. That is not a bad thing. What is important, what I would like for you to take from this video, is to know what is more important for you right now, depending on where the balance is. Not on inverting the balance, but knowing its current state so that you can focus on the right financial priorities at the time. So there you have it. I hope that this video has been useful. I realize now that a couple of videos that I have published so far in this channel might be a little bit more focused on mentality changes than actually something useful or something that we can implement right away. So just be certain that a lot of the videos that I am going to be posting on this channel are actually hands-on videos. I am going to be giving you exercises for you to do on how to create your perfect portfolio, on how to manage your personal finances, creating your budget. So I'm actually going to be sharing with you a lot of spreadsheets. That sounds super boring, but it's actually quite useful. I think those videos where I'll be sharing with you some spreadsheets are actually going to be more useful than this one right here, so don't forget to subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.